Live.
But I just saw you online. Oh.
We're live. Put this on. Hello, can you hear us?
They don't seem to be responding.
Yes, we can. I can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can.
Hi.
Okay, it's 6:34, and this is a Facilities Committee meeting. It's June 22nd, 2026 at 6:34 p.m. And we'll get started with introductions. Luke.
Luke Johnson, Network Administrator.
Shonda Merrill, Assistant Business.
Dennis, Director of Facilities.
Steve Morton, Town of a Senior.
David Warner, Board Member.
Chris Valen, board member.
Sarah Lazari, parent of 2.
And online we have Katie.
Katie McGee, parent of a junior.
Michael.
Michael Messina, BBS Architects.
Judy.
Judy Vasher, community member.
Nancy.
Nancy Barbera, 7 engineers.
Jessica.
Good evening, Jessica Muldoon, parent of 2 in the district.
Could you press the blue arrow so that I can see?
Well, their names are on the right.
I can
Okay.
do that, this, yeah, no problem.
I think, Cal.
Hey, Cal Vadala, a contractor and doing the EPC project.
Megan? Okay, Walter. You're muted.
Yes.
Okay, introduce yourself.
I'm
Okay.
unmuted.
Okay. Tell us who you are.
Who am I?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Walter Simon. I'm a member of the community, have grandchildren who went through the district and been part of this committee for some time.
Great. Anybody I missed? Okay. So we'll get started with project status. Luke, could you bring up the BBS report?
Give me 1 second.
And Michael, you're going to lead us through this?
Sure. Okay. Excuse me. Good evening. Water main fire hydrant project. New updates are that the Westchester County Department of Health, we received approval back on June 8th. So the plans that have been approved have been given to the contractor for the revisions that were required. And we believe we are still waiting for the pricing proposal to come back from him, but I'll defer to Nancy at Savin for a construction update.
Yeah, that's, we're still waiting for the contractor to provide us with the proposal. And I think we're still waiting on the Stone Oaks approval. So yeah, it's kind of the same update.
So what's the problem with Stone Oaks? Do we know? Do they have anything that they don't like? Or is it just not getting back to us?
So the last emails I've seen are really between the attorneys. I think the final agreement has been drafted and is approved, and I think there's just some language that's getting revised in it. Maybe Ms. Merrill can add to it a little bit more than that, but I think that kind of sums it up in a nutshell.
So there was a long delay between the district's attorney sending the license draft to Stone Oak's attorney. We only just got, I want to say it was last Friday, we got the response, Mr. Siegel, our attorney, got a response from Stone Oaks. There were a couple of red line items that Mr. Siegel sent to the district, to BBS and Savin. And those responses were provided today. I believe we're just waiting on one more thing from Mr. Longo from BBS. But other than that, we have responded to the questions.
What are we waiting on?
Is there anything that's?
There was a question from Mr. Mike, you had sent an email and you copied Mr. Longo asking him to make comments today.
Yes.
And we're just waiting on that. So could you explain what we're waiting for from Mr. Longo, like which comments specifically?
There's two things really, and they both have to do with the contractor. One is the signing of the agreement by the contractor that was requested. I just want to confirm that he's okay and comfortable with doing such. And two is the traffic control maintenance plan. The attorneys wanted some language in there. I don't feel comfortable putting it in there without the contractor having some knowledge or at least some authorization of what we're putting down for it and they can be responsible for. Because there wasn't anything that was drafted up prior for him to bid on or give a number to. So in order to protect the district and keep the numbers down, I want John Longo to just speak with him on that to determine what measures need to be done. The reality of it is it's going to be nothing more than probably some signage, maybe a flag person, some protective, steel plates like you've seen in the past. Things like that to keep the area safe. But the first thing that needs to happen is just to dig that test hole and confirm that what we are being told is there. And then they can kind of draft up the next schedule for actually doing the work, what it's going to entail, and develop that plan further after that.
Are we in the loop on what this traffic is? Because it might be stuff that the district can do.
We're included in the conversation.
Okay.
Dr. Chisholm, myself, Dennis. The other thing I want to mention, and Mr. Messina, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Department of Health permits were not actually received on June 8th. They were postmarked on June 8th. They were received on June 11th.
They were completed in May.
They were completed, I guess, May 12th, but I just wanted to be clear that both the district and BBS did not receive them until June 11th. And the postmark on both envelopes was June 8th.
Okay.
David,
Walter,
have a question.
yes.
This initial delay in getting things finalized, will that have, what effect will it have at the final completion date? Did it throw off our schedule in any significant way?
To be determined, until they can tell what the Stone Oak side work entails, we won't be able to tell you further, but I believe once we get the proposal for the Pinewood Road side, that should move along fairly quickly. Just keep in mind that I'm sure the contractor is busy on other projects and will now have to reschedule and remobilize to do this work. So, I don't want to speak for any discussions that Savin may have had with him already, but I would think that the work won't take that long to do once we do finally agree on the price and the proceed notice to start.
Okay, but my question was to the point we are right now. What effect has these delays been has had on where we are today? I'm just trying to find out if these initial delays have any significant effect on the final project. So right now we're limited to the initial portion. So if you feel that there have not been a significant delay in the fact we had to go back and forth in the contract, that's fine. I'm just trying to assess whether or not there was a significant delay.
Well, the contractor has completed most of his work contractually. It's really the connections now. But the health department has totally added months to the project length. You know, he should have been done by now.
Okay,
That year.
thank you.
Yep.
What's the ETA on Mr. Longo getting these answers back?
He was out of the office today. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. So I think this will happen pretty quickly.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that it's moving. Keep us posted. Go ahead, any more questions on that? Okay, then we're gonna go ahead, the Woodlands Field and Running Track.
So the running track is substantially complete, and project closeout is now underway for that portion of the work.
And we had our ribbon cutting ceremony, more or less. And we dedicated the field to Edward Eller. Okay, we'll take a look at pictures of that a little later. Yes.
Just so you, oh. Were you calling on me, David? Let me raise my hand again.
Go ahead, Tracy.
So I've been asked over the past few days, several times by different people, whether or not the field is open now.
Opine?
The field, there's people walking the track during the day. There's students down there in the afternoons before we lock it up. There's people using the track.
So yes.
No.
No.
Can-
Go ahead. Judy.
Yes, I wanted to ask, well, first of all, I wanted to congratulate everybody that worked on the field. I think you guys, did a marvelous job, even though it took a long time. And I think the dedication ceremony was wonderful. Two questions after that, or one comment in just regard to what Tracy was saying. Some neighbors have asked me, why was it locked up, in the late afternoon, the early evening? And I had no answer to that. And the second thing I had mentioned to David, I was shocked that the next day the plaque was taken off the rock, the dedication plaque. What's going to happen? Where did it go? And what's going to happen to that? Is there a more significant plan for where that plaque is going to be? Right now, there's no plaque on the rock.
We were just talking about that before.
Correct. I could probably enlighten everybody here. On the plaque, when it was fabricated, we designed it with certain proof, and when they constructed it, there was a period where a comma should have been. So there was a mistake on the plaque, but we chose at the time to have the plaque there for the dedication ceremony, because the plaque would not be, we would have to send it out and have another plaque made, and we wanted to have a plaque there for the ceremony while the other one's being fabricated. That's what the process is. There's no cost to the district because the contractor who designed the plaque, engraved it, made a mistake. So we're just having that corrected.
I thought perhaps it was going to be placed on some taller wooden, like not as high as a goalpost, but like a wooden background thing. So it's definitely going to go on the rock, because you don't really see it until you get up there. And I thought maybe there was some other plan that was going to be on a kind of like where the announcements are when you go up the street, like a bigger thing, so you can say, wow, this is dedicated to him. But it's okay if it's going to go on the rock. I just was shocked that it was missing. So that's the plan. It's going to end up on the rock, basically, when it's corrected.
Correct. Okay, go ahead.
So going back to President Mayor's original question, first of all, I apologize. I was out of town last week. I could not attend the dedication ceremony. But I hear the track is open, and tomorrow hopefully I will drive by and get to see it finally. And when I say open, that's the question I have. I think the track has been excuse me, the field has been dedicated, the track surface is complete, the turf field is complete. But I believe, as we just heard, there's some items that need to be closed out. I believe, I'm saying things like their statements, I need you to correct me. I believe we don't yet have signage up there about what can and can't be done on the track and the field. Is that correct?
Correct.
There still needs to be additional signs.
Signage is pending. Is it on order?
Yes, Mr. McCoy is ordering some signs, yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing the maintenance information with us that indicates some do's and don'ts that the public needs to be aware of. Signs on order. But as far as the field being, the field and the track being open, my understanding is it's complete, but it's not open for use at this time until all of those do's and don'ts aren't there. For example, I believe you just said, as I was walking in, on a wet day like today, people should not be over there with certain footwear, et cetera, right? And there's nothing informing the public of that. Interrupt me at any point if I'm wrong.
Okay,
So,
there's a sign
so
that says,
there is?
there's a sign that
There
says,
is a sign.
do not use wet track. And there's a padlock on the little 4-foot gate.
Okay, that's a start. Okay, and I believe for any organized use, people need to follow the normal district procedures and complete a facilities use request form to get permission to use the facilities, and groups that aren't doing that will have an issue.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, that includes internal and external groups, correct?
I haven't.
For example, as a committee chair, I know I have to fill out a facilities use request to get permission to use a room.
Even if it's internal, correct.
So
That
any
should be the
internal or
process.
external use needs to be completing the facilities use request before anything happens out there.
I think that should be the process. yes.
And let's make sure that's communicated to everyone, please.
Okay.
Okay, so as far as people coming up and using the facilities during school hours, technically, what should be happening?
So my understanding was that it is not open at this time. The gate is only open when we have contractors down there working on the solar project in the back, correct?
Yes.
Most of the other
there's-
stuff is
yeah.
done. I think what will happen, very similar to the tennis courts, is administration and the Board of Ed will have discussions on the do's and the don'ts, what we need to do, and a schedule, so to speak. Like as far as like when it is going to be open to the public. Those conversations haven't happened yet. I would expect that they're gonna happen soon.
So just to be clear, I think as a standard rule, public access to district facilities is usually not permitted unless you're signing it as a visitor at a district facility during school hours, correct? And then there are, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking for informal daily usage by members of the community because that's the way it's been for several years.
But I'm saying this because especially this time of year, if there are field days and things that happen on our district property,
Then
we
that's
don't want to be running, which happens this time of year on facilities such as that, if it were open for use. So I'm just saying, if people are up here on their own, they may need to expect to be asked to leave until a more appropriate time when students are present.
Sure.
And I think it's important.
And yes, we do welcome usage as long as we're all following the rules.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's important to note that just because it's summer, we do still have programs here. We are having an ESY program, and our summer school program here and also at Bailey. So there are students that will be on the property, for a good portion of the summer.
Mhm.
I just want to mention that because a lot of times people think the last day of school is free use because there's no students.
And are these things posted so that people can look at them? If not, signage yet, do we have, something on the website that tells when the, field is used, under use?
The field, we haven't had those conversations yet. The tennis courts are all, that's all taken care of, that's on the athletics page. We are using that reservation app. As far as I know, I think the employee said it's working well. we have the locks with the codes. So I expect us to have conversations soon regarding the field and track, similar situation.
And maybe just it's a good time before you get to one or two hands in the air is to mention things, in case people watch this, things like, are bicycles allowed on the track? If you've got your child out there with training wheels, is that allowed on the track?
Bicycle strollers should not be permitted on the
No.
Okay.
track.
Are roller skates allowed on the track?
Roller skates, heels should not be permitted on the track.
So shoes with heels,
Track
screw-in cleats,
spikes
screw-in metal cleats?
should not be, there's a whole list of
Okay, is there anything else we should mention at this time?
cleats,
For things that
Vehicles should
people
not be
just
on
might
the track.
vehicles, e-bikes, all kinds of
Scooters,
scooters.
barbecue pits, should barbecue grills, should those be
Barbecues.
on our property at all?
No,
Skateboards.
Do we need to have that covering over the track for when people are crossing to get to the field?
Correct, that's what that's for especially when the teams come out with the rubber cleats or.
Katie,
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I think it was confusing since the Edward Eller Memorial dedication happened and there were students there, and I just think those students thought everything was open. I know there's use on the weekends, and teenagers are good at just hopping a 4-foot fence. So I'm just putting it out there. Like, I don't know that the message was told to the students that might come on a Saturday to kick their soccer ball around. If you're not wanting that, then I don't know how you're preventing that.
Steve.
I'm just throwing this out there. I really don't think we should be telling the public that the field, the track are open. Because we don't have the signage ready. We don't have our safety protocols in. Yeah. And because of all that, to just say the word open, what does open mean? This is a private facility once you get onto the campus. But if you're just saying, oh, it's open, without giving anybody advance, I think it should be, when we get everything in place, you can say, okay, here are the protocols. But just to use that word open, you're opening up a Pandora's box.
Agreed.
I don't think we said it was open.
Yeah,
I think there's,
you
I
just said
think
it.
it's being said, and I think
Just
the
said
more
it.
accurate wording would be the project is complete.
Yes,
It's not fully open for public use. And if
correct.
people want to use it, facility you should be done, and once we've the signage up.
Okay,
As long as you follow the things that won't destroy the warranty on our track. Right? I mean, that's the key. We don't want to ruin something new and nice that we have by things happening up there that we've observed in the past. Those things can't continue to happen.
Okay, I don't want to go to a huge amount of effort to try and prevent people from getting in if the period of time during which it takes us to get organized is relatively brief. So the signs are already on order. So when will the signs come in?
I'll have to check with Mr. McCoy, who's ordering the signs for the track.
Okay, Judy, you have more questions?
I just was wondering, the public, such as myself and the people that live in the neighborhood. So on any given Saturday and Sunday, if they want to go over there and walk that track, they're not going to be allowed to do so unless they sign up on some list similar to the tennis court thing. Is that what you're saying? Because we never had to do that in the past. People would just, go over there and walk the track.
Nobody, if there's no student or organized event there, then you know that it's okay.
And right now, the padlock has been on. You couldn't get in there anyway.
Discussion, but my understanding for the most part, the facilities use forms would be for organizations, not for individual community members. Similar to when you decide you want to walk on a road, that's still school property, but we're not asking you to fill out a form to, take a walk on the road or go use the, a lot of people go to the playgrounds. I see people on the ECP playground all the time. But just like with any area on the school district grounds, you know, the track and field was a huge investment for both the community and the school district. And, you know, we all want to make sure that we protect our investment. So we want to go ahead and take the right precautions. But no, we're not saying that once it's open, that you would need to fill out a facilities use form to walk around the track.
Because I think, you know, people that live here think that, you know, we paid a lot of those taxes that created that thing to be in existence. We don't want to, you know, abuse it, but we certainly want to be able to use it. All the people that I spoke to. that's what they said.
Actually, the community members who come and they take care of it, your eyes are really important to us when we're not here. Because if you see something, it's super important that you say something so that it can be dealt with. Like if you see something happening that shouldn't be happening, let somebody know.
Like a skateboard, a bike, anything on the track.
Correct. Vehicle on the track, anything.
Who would
Okay,
they let
Walter?
know if they saw something?
I would say the athletic director would probably be your first point of contact. If in the event you couldn't reach the athletic director, then I would recommend the superintendent's office.
Are we gonna
Or
have any
Mr.
any
Lisi.
signage for
Yeah.
them? Like someone's not gonna know.
Right. We could make it simple and just say email.
Facilities, athletics.
Do they have generic email addresses or is it a person?
David, did you recognize me?
Recognize you, and then nothing happened.
Okay, I was on auto. I think we need to clearly separate the two issues. One, the school usage and the public usage. Number one, and I agreed, we spend a lot of money on that track, so the new track should not be just free access. There should be public access, but there should be some clear rules. First of all, we take the specifications of the vendor who put down the track, and they should be able to tell us these are the things that are permitted on the tracks. These are the things that are not permitted on the track if we're interested in the safety of and the longevity of the track. And we have posted set up that reflects that. Okay, for the school usage, that should be something that should be easily managed by the superintendent and the school principal, that they make sure the students during the school period or after school activity are strictly following those rules. So as long as those rules are clearly laid out and articulated to the superintendent and the principal, then we should be able to control that. So the only issue that we really need to face is the unauthorized use of the facility. And I think that that's where the issue come in with whatever system you use for prior approval or whatever the case might be, is that is not just open access. Because this is an expensive a project and we need to maintain it for many, many years. So I think we should just separate the two and put up those signs consistent with the specification for the field.
Agreed.
Okay.
You want to talk, Chris?
Just 2 points. One, I just want to make clear, I welcome public use of the facilities. I'm coming down really strict on this side to kind of counteract the lack of clarity that's been going on with how it's being discussed in the last week or so. So I was just kind of trying to provide a counterbalance.
I think the solution is just make it clear.
So I want to make it clear that I'm not anti-public use.
Okay.
But going to the point about who, it was a good point you made about the public you know, especially those on this call, being the eyes and ears for us when we can't be there. I'd like to recommend, I just checked on here, there's a facilities at Greenburgh CSD. Does your department monitor that email address?
Yeah, for building use, yes.
So maybe we could just say facilities at Greenburgh CSD should be where people email weird things
We
going on.
do not monitor that.
Maybe we could look into beginning to monitor that, so it's a generic one and not dependent on a name for people to remember.
That could be alias.
Food for thought, you guys can
It's auto
decide.
for it, right?
What about cameras?
We do have some cameras down.
But we don't discuss that a lot in public session.
Okay. Could you explain to me why we can't discuss cameras on the ball field? Am I missing something there?
They're concerned that if you give away the locations of the cameras, it'll be easier to circumvent them.
No, I'm not saying to give away the location. I'm just saying to have camera footage, looking at the field. Where you put them, that's a technical issue. I'm just saying one of the ways to monitor that people are not misusing the field is to have cameras. Now, where you locate them, how you locate them, that's a totally separate issue.
I think generically, the more eyes, the better.
Yes,
Cameras-
we have them. I don't think,
We know, I
Yeah.
typically view them, and I know the athletic
Yeah,
director.
cameras and
on the
humans.
weekends and.
Are all good options. We're just asking to include the human element. To
Okay.
email facilities at greenburghcsd.org.
Well, we should probably have a link where it could go to several people.
Mhm.
We'll put something on the website, if you see something with the, see something, say something like.
Okay. Any other? Yes, Tracy.
I wanted to respond to Mr. Simon's inquiry about the cameras because I don't want Mr. Simon or anyone to think that we can't talk about cameras. We are very careful in how much we talk about their locations and placement. But yes, we do have cameras on the field or looking at the field to monitor our investment. So I want to be able to answer that. Was that your question, Mr. Simon?
No, you clarified it. That,
Okay.
yeah, I thought you said we can't talk about cameras. Okay, we can't talk about the location of cameras, which makes absolute sense.
That's where's my hand to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So I just want to be respectful. So, with regards to the cameras, I mean, similar to the United States having nuclear weapons, but we don't know their location. Knowing that we have nuclear weapons deters a lot of wars, right? Conflicts.
Right.
So I mean, are we gonna have signs that say, under CCTV surveillance?
There are signs down there that say,
Correct.
video surveillance.
And I'm sorry, I'm joining the party late, but it's better to be redundant than not, because I did have a couple of questions after I went to the memorial service, which was, I think it was great. But I was taking a look all around, and of course, the solar panel parking is also an area that is viable to be vandalized as well. So I was just taking into account all the kind of like the waypoints of things coming. So that's why I brought it up. With regards to the signs, does McCoy have a list in terms of what those signs are gonna say? And if they cover off on absolutely everything? Because I think we had talked briefly with regards to the cleats, right? Like it can't be more than a certain depth. If not, it's just gonna
So
tear.
metal, I believe that where we were looking at different schools, they have similar signage. And I think that to use that as a template, I believe that was the plan.
But we're also working with a care and maintenance manual for the track, and we'll be receiving the warranty information shortly.
You got it. I think Mr. Simon said it as well, right? Like the people that put it down should be fairly aware of what can and can't be on that. So I'm hoping that they're advising me.
Yes, that's who we received the information from.
So out of curiosity, the only question I have is with regards to the vehicle that I approached was extremely fast and was about to take out poor Gary. Excuse me, public, but you know, it's what we saw from the bleachers. So I've gone to other events and I do see vehicles go on, and I heard you say that, you know, they weren't going to be allowed altogether. Is that really the case? Because there's going to be instances where, I guess, bringing on handicapped individuals onto the field will need to be taken into account, and then something has to be in place for it to be facilitated.
I know that there's typically in a lot of the fields, you'll see like an ambulance access. If somebody has to get a wheelchair, typically they don't drive out on the field. In the past, I've seen some school districts where they have their homecoming parade, where they drive around in golf carts, but I don't think that's a great idea, just being honest with you.
We did only asphalt.
Yeah.
Now,
Cars,
no,
correct.
let's make it clear, we're not gonna be doing that. At homecoming.
Okay.
I would think also, like in that case, I don't know, can the Kubota,
Kubota?
Yeah.
Kubota, yeah.
It's if you're making a turn, like, I'm told, like, the lawnmowers, if you idle it and you don't cut to get across to the grassy area.
so in an emergency, that could be used to transfer someone, but if someone's trying to get to like the bleachers or something, they wouldn't.
No, I'm
Go
just,
walk the
I'm
field,
just.
don't walk
On the field.
If you're injured on the field,
Right.
take the ambulance, you go with the gurney, with lifts.
Exactly.
That's
But anything
what my
else,
belief
I don't
is.
see why.
You know, I'm thinking the athletic trainer, the coaches would help somebody.
Yeah.
Depending unless it's a board injury where you're gonna carry somebody.
And frankly, that's part of the discussion we need to have about accessing that road that goes up to the home bleachers, like my one person opinion is it should be restricted to like referees and for access for, so they're not just willing, like I shouldn't be driving over there and parking over there, I should be in the lot.
That makes sense.
So, but that's a conversation.
Yeah.
So on that note, and I know I'm sorry again for jumping in late and also making an appearance. This is my first time in the facilities committee, so
Welcome.
I'm here simply because, you know, there was a couple of observations and I had to share them. So I got scared the following day, right? When I said, oh, you know, this is great, it's open and everything, and I went to go see The Rock to read the placard, and God, it was gone.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so,
Dennis, you freaked everyone out by
Yes.
taking that
Go
off.
ahead.
well, we fabricated the plaque and there was the typo that, or comma where
yeah,
a period or should have been, you know, when we created the proof, but when they fabricated, they made a mistake, but we just felt it was best to have something for the memorial. Because we had to send it back and it would have been sent back in time, it's gonna take a month or two, so that's. The following day, we took it down and that's when all the calls came in, where's the plaque, did somebody steal it?
yeah, I thought somebody took it.
Yeah,
But I mean, so I guess the only thing I have, so the plaque is a good way to stand, you know, to brand it, right? My only concern from a visual standpoint is that it's facing the field, so people who are going through that passage don't even see that the placard is there. They don't
we could
see it.
spin the rock, you know,
Yeah, you can spin the rock, but shouldn't, and just for consideration, I don't know if there's any budget, but should there be some money set aside to, if you look at other schools, they'll have 36-foot poles on each side that'll say something to the effect of, you know, welcome to Edward Eller Field, home of the Falcons. Or are we gonna wait until, you know, the scoreboard is finally fixed to put that same title?
you might be able to put that on there.
I think in the,
That's something that's a discussion that we
as-
should probably have.
Welcome,
You could probably
it's
put
like
it.
3 2x4s, is what he's talking about though, that you.
Yeah.
You might be able to put it right on the scoreboard because, you know, the scoreboard, we just had a technician out there and he said it's pretty much obsolete and it's to be replaced. So when we do the branding, we could probably have the Woodlands logo on there. We could, if it's approved, somebody could say Eller Field right up in plain sight for everybody who comes by. So
I understand what you're saying now, and I think that would be a great idea to look into.
Right.
Because that would be a visual as you're coming
as you're
in,
coming in.
as you're coming
Have the
in.
rock and the
If you're
plaque.
talking about the
Yeah.
scoreboard, you're not seeing that when you're walking
Sorry?
in necessarily. You're seeing it when you're on the field, but maybe something when you're coming.
Yeah. as you're coming
If
in.
there's a game on, then your eyes go to the
or
scoreboard.
maybe
Right.
you put it on the back of the scoreboard, you know, for when you're coming in.
Usually when you put plaque and dedications, it's where the first entry is.
Yeah.
So you have that whole area, you put the rock there, that, and they welcome too, not just on the scoreboard, but right there. And then have something on the scoreboard. You can have both.
Yeah,
I'd put it near the ambulance entrance or from the parking lot where people should be coming up. And that's where, during homecoming at least, where concessions are sold, where the bathrooms are.
That would be a great.
I think it's food for thought, but I'm gonna solve it tonight. And last thing for Mr. Messina, if Mr. Barrios is done.
No, I was just gonna say that
You
I
had
wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying, that we should close off, or at least, you know, with a chain rope, close off that back entrance to steer everyone to the main entrance. Very good.
Mr. Messina, for this track, project closeout is underway. Do you have an ETA for when that would be done? I'm interested because then that's when we'll start applying for our JASME grant.
Isn't that project part of a group of projects?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say by the end of the summer, you would have something from the contractor.
Okay.
But
So.
But the
End of July.
grant from Andrew Stewart Cousins was for the track, which
Yes.
is this project
September.
number 22-47.
I was thinking of the SED stuff.
There's multiple. So I'm just saying,
Multiple
sounds like end of
projects.
summer, they'll be buttoned up and we can start applying to get that money.
Yep.
Okay. I'm done beating that horse.
Okay, we've made it to two. All right, let's go to district-wide energy performance contract.
Okay, good thing I have on here is
before
that
you-
I'm sorry, Cal, I thought that you were here, you're more than welcome to speak.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. Cal Udala. So at this point, most of the energy performance contract projects are have either completed or the major outstanding item is this the solar project, the carport and the battery project that is waiting to be energized by the Con Ed, the utility company. The construction is pretty much complete. There was some delays in receipt of the switchboard, which has been severe delays throughout because of the supply chains and all that. But we have received that a few months ago, and then some components we received it very recently. One actually arriving on the site tomorrow. With that, and that's a parallel path with the Con Edison moving their transformers to our side of the street and bringing the line in. That part has been done as well too. So we're waiting for the Con Ed, and they have, through discussions with them, they are planning to energize the system by the end of this month. And then once the system is energized, then we have to perform commissioning on the system, because you cannot perform commissioning without the power. So when the power is brought in and the switch is turned on, then we have to commission, basically turn the system on and turn every component on. And there is different specifications from the utility that have to be met by each system. So that part within the week, we expect to complete that and then provide the results to Con Ed. They will review, and then once they're satisfied, they'll issue something called a permission to operate. That means you can go live on the system onto the grid. So that we expect that will happen sometime in July, according to the indications from Con Ed. But that is contingent upon them turning the power on by the end of this month. We've been working diligently with Con Ed pretty closely, and there are multiple groups within the Con Ed, so there is obviously scheduling with them is always a challenge, but they have indicated that they'll be turning it on towards the end of this month. So that's pretty much the update.
Towards the end of this month, which means June or July?
At the end of June is when they turn the power on. And
Okay.
then once the power is turned on, like I said, there is about a week to maximum 2 weeks worth of commissioning that has to happen. And once the commissioning is done, then we have to submit the commission. That they are live. They go directly to Con Ed as we commission the system. The Con Ed will get the information, And then once they're satisfied with the commissioning results, then they will send you a letter, PTO letter, permission to operate letter officially. So as of the date of that letter, your system will go live on their grid.
So then our guarantee,
Yeah.
right, their guarantee starts once that occurs?
The guarantee starts once that occurs, yes. As soon as you get the PTO, the date on the PTO letter is when the guarantee triggers.
Okay.
It's been a challenge working with Con Ed with, just the structure of it with multiple levels of them, and the requirements have always been evolving, and but we are here at the finish line at this point, and multiple people in our group have been working with multiple people on the utility side to keep things moving. So we are here, and then we feel pretty comfortable that that timeline can be achieved within reason from Con Ed. So.
Yeah, we're kind of aware that this is the time when the sun shines.
Yeah.
Brightest and the most power would come in. So I guess since it's a 1 year period, you're going to get next June and July fit in. All right, fine. Walter.
For budget season.
Yes, finish this because I had a question for really the courts, because we made a lot of very good suggestions as to what we should do, but we didn't make a decision on what we're going to do. A lot of people may be good in terms of the scoreboard, in terms of responsibility of the school versus responsibility of the public. We talk about cameras, a lot of good suggestions, but we didn't come away with a decision as to what exactly we're going to do. So that was my point. I mean, when we cover a topic, we should come away with a decision or an action, or it just becomes discussions that gets lost and later on down the road, we say, oh, didn't we discuss that at a meeting? So just for efficiency, I think we should summarize or at least decide what actions we gotta use going forward. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
I just have a question for RWA. So my question is, when Con Ed does the energizing, originally I know there was talk about a shutdown. Is that still need to happen, or I just need to know if people are going to be without power at any point in time?
No, there is no need for shutdown. We got that confirmation from Con Ed. They've been indicating about that, and that's what I communicated with Dennis at the time. But they have confirmed that there is no need for a second shutdown. When they shut you down previously, when they moved their pole.
You blanked out. You're muted.
Did we lose them?
I don't know.
Yeah, the last time that they did the shutdown, that they did all the work that they needed to do, and so
But I thought
there's
that
no
was
need for another,
correct.
there's not
Need for
another
future shutdown.
Correct.
No future shutdowns. Perfect.
Okay.
At least it affect the school, they can do their shutdown, but it'll just be from the best station to the Con Ed pole.
Right. Now,
Oh, which comment? Oh,
Where their transformer is.
which is where?
Down in the Pinewood area.
Okay.
But Con Ed is saying no need for a shutdown
That would affect the school,
or the community.
Or the
Or the community.
That's
Correct.
fine.
Yes.
that was already done,
Okay.
and Caliano was trying to explain that that's.
I think we might have lost.
Mr. Johnson, is there anyone else present?
Hello?
We
Hold down and see if
It's all of us.
Cal-
out of a shit.
Can anyone hear us? Hold on.
We don't need to see that on the screen.
well,
No.
I'm connected fine. I could hear you.
Okay.
there are people at home.
Yes.
Do you want to stop sharing?
Well, no, you can share, but we don't need to see the screen if you want to make the people bigger so we can see the people.
All right, gotcha.
You might have lost connection, but I think we're good with that, right?
Yeah, he had confirmed with Con Ed that there would
You
be
can
no
close it for-
shutdown for
Yeah, go to the arrow there.
the school or
He's
the
down.
community.
So he's off.
He's off.
He's off completely. Okay.
All right. Roof replacement at Highview.
So Nancy at 7, you want to give an update for that?
Sure. So the Highview roof is, I would say, about 80% complete at this point. The only removal that's left is the canopy in the front of the building, the main entrance. And that's gonna have to be done after hours, so after 4 o'clock. And the plan was for them to start this week, but the weather today isn't cooperating, so maybe they'll get it in this week, hopefully. And then after that, all they'll have left to do is do the metal around the perimeter of the roof. Otherwise, the majority of the roof has been re-roofed already. So that's almost done.
Thank you.
We're ahead of schedule on that one.
Yeah.
And I'll roll it right into the roof replacement at Jackson. As you know, the board awarded the project to Milcon last month, terminating the contract with BBR. And I believe the contracts, bonds, and insurances are just about through the review process. And we've had a kickoff meeting with Milcon, and I'll let Nancy just give you a brief update there on construction.
Yeah, construction has not started. I think we're just waiting to deliver material. And they're waiting to hear for confirmation on once their insurance is approved by NYSER. They'll schedule and confirm the delivery, and work will start after school ends, which will be on June 29th. So that's next week.
Correct. They've been cleared by legal. We're just waiting on NYSER.
Correct.
Have we been waiting
Start.
long? Mr. Johnson,
It
says 2
is-
people in the waiting room.
Apology.
It has been a challenge with NYSER. I followed up on, I think I copied you on an email on Thursday, and the response I got was, we're getting to everybody as soon as we.
And you know it's someone we're currently working with and that they've already approved.
They hadn't currently approved Milcon, NYSER.
They did for the Highview.
Yeah, but it's different. It's,
Gotcha.
it's on a per project
Gotcha.
basis, because every project is different. And some of NYSER's requirements changed, I believe, last spring. So I'm hopeful that it will be done soon, like this week.
Okay.
It's calendar just anything.
Does anybody have any questions that we didn't finish with Cal?
Yeah, sorry about that. There was a power outage here quickly. It's raining, so just lost the Wi-Fi and I'm back here. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Woodland Science Labs.
Would you mind scrolling down? Thank you. So right now we've been reviewing submittals as they come in from the contractors. I don't think anyone from the Palumbo group is on tonight. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But I know that Dennis and the district have been working on clearing out the rooms this week, and construction is scheduled to begin Friday, as far as I know, barring any unforeseen insurance requirements or nothing has been approved on some of those contracts. But I have nothing further to really update you on that.
Can you describe what is gonna happen on Friday? Because graduation
Correct,
happens
yeah, Friday will be like the mobilization for the abatement contractor. The real work is gonna start on Monday.
When you say mobilization, what does that mean?
They're gonna start
They're
to
gonna bring in and set
Move
stuff
their-
up
they're gonna put the-
outside, right? Outside.
What time?
just not, they're mindful of the graduation of, so we don't turn it into
So
a
like-
construction site until after graduation leaves.
And they won't be having traffic and taking parking spaces and all that, like, are they
No.
doing this all before like 2 o'clock, 12?
No, they're gonna start their mobilization of like, taping off the plastic for the abatement. Doing their diligence to plan their operation because in
Okay.
Monday
I'm
morning.
envisioning like. the-
Monday morning is when they're actually really gonna start, because my team needs to get in there Friday evening and Saturday to police whatever the teachers didn't do. We still have to take down the whiteboards, smart boards, speakers, and whatever materials that the teachers
Mhm.
and staff might have left in the drawers.
And you're liaising with the tech department to ensure that all that tech removal is being done appropriately and able to save the gear to reinstall?
No, the smart boards are gonna be taken down, put across the hallway and put back in the room. Because there wasn't.
And all the-
Yes.
And part of the assistant
We are-
principal's office as well.
Yeah, my staff takes the smart boards down and reinstalls them. Typically, that's what happens. When we have to move, my staff does that and they are familiar with the process on how to be safe.
We have a few pictures that it's in process.
Yes.
Facilities is working with technology to make sure the stuff is taken down properly. and
Thank you.
stored
So that we can
correctly.
store and reuse it properly,
Thank you.
again.
And asset tag to the right locations and all that fun stuff. Okay.
Hopefully, they're already asset tagged.
No, they are, it would
Wait,
just be
wait,
putting
yeah,
it,
like-
it would just be
yeah,
putting it back into the
Go
room.
back to extra.
Correct.
We are still waiting for clearance on, all but one of the vendors. One of the contractors has been cleared. We're waiting for clearance for the other. So,
Master clearance?
Okay, other questions on that? Good, we'll look at the pictures in a minute. Energy performance contract.
So the new update for that is the RFP is out on the street now. There's a walkthrough meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m. And the RFP is due on July 24th at 11 a.m. So there's been a good turnout of respondents so far. I believe when I spoke today with the district, there's about 4 or 5 companies that are going to come out tomorrow potentially to meet and.
I think I missed a few.
We
Dennis.
picked a couple, there's at least half a dozen now, yeah.
Oh, good. So good turnout.
Yes.
Good.
Hmm.
Okay, and we'll see what the board says. Okay, and then bus electrification study. The legislation passed?
It did. The mandate still stands, but there's been a 5-year delay on, both the mandate that was originally for 27 and 32, I believe. So, those have been pushed back 5 years. So as far as the bus electrification study, obviously it's something that will have to be done at some point in the future, but it's not necessary right now.
Okay. And we're hoping that there'll be a regional study to see if all of the school districts implemented this mandate at once, whether we run out of power. Okay, and I don't know how that's going.
I've not heard anything on that front.
Right, okay, so the board, the board indicated their support for the petition, okay. Okay, I think we're about done with status. Okay,
Is there anyone who will continue to talk to?
Like, do we want to let BBS, Savin, and Cal go?
I think we can.
Unless you want them on for pictures. And then
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's run the picture. Okay, what's this?
This is a shed at the early childhood building in the back of the building that my staff put together.
Okay.
We're looking at some speed bumps and the guardrail, the wooden guardrail was painted in the curb line in front of the early childhood building. Crosswalks, we installed 2 crosswalks at the early childhood building from the parking lots. This is a picture from the dedication ceremony. Eller Memorial Field. This is the crowd that was gathered there. This is the Highview Elementary School roof, the project that's ongoing right now. This is a gated Highview that was broken and replaced. Highview roof again. This is
C-wing.
the C wing, but we're putting some furniture together for the new space. We had a new partition wall installed there on the right to define the space.
Yes.
And this is some of the furniture they ordered. This is the workshop when we're actually putting it together.
What is the ceiling?
PPS area, pupil personnel services.
I'm sorry, which space is this that we're looking at now?
Yeah, that is below the cafeteria. Downstairs.
Which spaces are we looking at? Are we looking at the new space that's created, or are we looking at the PPS space?
Yeah, this is the PPS large room. We just put a wall to divide a section of the large room downstairs.
So when you
I don't know if you can hear my question. Is this the new space that we created, or is this going to be?
Yes. This is the new.
With the new space, the proposal is for a therapy office. So why is there a huge meeting table and couches there?
We're just assembling the furniture there. Where they're going to put it, I have no idea. They ordered the furniture from somewhere, and about 7 or 8 pallets came in. And we're just assembling the furniture there. Where it's gonna go, I have not been privy to that.
So Ms. Merrill, can you follow up with the superintendent and get clarity for the board tomorrow? Because I'm a little confused by this. This looks like multiple people's office area. This does not look like a therapy office.
Right.
Which I would expect to see a desk, maybe a couch, a desk, a chair, computer area. This is like a lounging area and a meeting table. So it's very confusing.
Okay.
Although if I may add, and I don't know the plans, but I mean, places do have waiting areas and they do have tables for family meetings.
Right, then I expect to see.
This looks like multiple. This doesn't look like.
Right,
this
it's just the space.
multiple.
Ms. McGee, I would have expected to see further subdivision of this space then if that were the case.
Exactly.
So, I think the board needs more updates.
Yeah, this needs to be clear exactly what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
This is some pictures of the science rooms that are going to be renovated. This is some materials are being packed up and boxed up for transport across the hall or whatever out of the work area.
And there's some aquariums. And
yes, there's been that stand has looked like it was kind of old and rickety, so a new one was ordered and fabricated and put together. But a lot of these tanks have to be moved.
Right.
It's not just
and there's critters in them.
There's live creatures that need to be transported to another area. These are some more pictures of the science rooms.
Those tables get scrapped?
That is the plan, yes.
And so that would go before the board to approve recycling and or disposal. Unless we magically think of another use. until all places have new furniture.
And down to the storage areas.
Yep, these are some of the storage areas and spaces that are gonna be renovated. You can see the boxing and the, the stuff that has to be moved and transported. Some rooms are held together and packed up better than others. This is the water main project sketch.
And this is all the stuff from the options for phase 4. We were looking at the external walls,
the building shell.
Right, right. And whether we wanted to do a cafeteria as a subset of that or not. And I think he recommended against doing that. But you can see the windows have seen better days.
Yeah. I think those tables though are fairly new, correct?
Yeah,
Yes, the tables are replaced constantly. Yeah, but as far as the building shell is concerned, we just went through all this energy performance work, but we have our windows need to be upgraded. We have single pane glass in a lot of the building with aluminum foil windows.
I think that's it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Do you want to let the folks go that don't need to stay on?
Sure. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Nancy. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good
Enjoy
one.
your summer.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Okay, smaller projects, Dennis, please, go through it and pick up anything we didn't cover. Let's see. On page 2, the agenda.
ECP main building. We saw the new storage shed that we had built. Applied for a New York Plains grant to replace the playground equipment. Approval is pending. We removed some poison ivy near the back fence and shaded areas of the playground. We saw the speed bumps, curbs, and added sidewalks in the pictures. LF Jackson, parking lot should be expanded and dropped off attached. Cost about $90K. Needs a design for implementation in a future year. Drainage was fixed by the town several years ago and should no longer be a significant concern. On hold pending board approval. This requires community input from Juniper Hill residents. We changed some water filters in the drinking fountains.
Yeah.
Highview, we saw some pictures of the gate and the access driveway that had been repaired. The west roof was being repaired. We saw the pictures from that. RJ Bailey, the auditorium decorative plaster is being removed as time permits. Plans to patch in plaster and section as time goes by throughout the year. We fixed the damaged speed bump and we fixed some potholes in the parking lot at the student bus entrance.
Question,
Yes.
did we ever find the fake coyotes or whatever?
Owls,
Coyotes?
fake owls were installed around the RJ Bailey. We've had mixed results. At first, I was told that they didn't seem to do anything, and then the second time they are keeping them away from the one section of the building. They seem to be.
Okay.
Are they on the ground or on the?
They're on the poles on the corner of the buildings. Mixed results, but if we can keep them away from the front of the building and the sidewalks, I'm all for it.
And did we find the coyotes that we should have in storage somewhere?
Oh, no, we do have the coyotes that are in the mansion, but we decided to try the owls.
Yeah.
And the owls seem to be mixed results, but plausible if they work or not.
Yeah, we can switch it up every once in a while
Yes.
so they don't get accustomed to one. predator.
Woodlands, the turf replacement is complete. Ella Memorial Field was dedicated.
Scratch field is
Scratch
open.
field is open. We need to have the discussion and gate to the athletic roadway was paved around the apron. Potholes on campus continue to be filled. Installed the new electrical wire along the Pinewood gate area. We went from the last working light pole by the pond to the last existing pole on our property. We ran several hundred feet of new conduit and electrical wire, and that pleased to tell you that the that light pole is working again.
Okay, now, when you say last working light pole near the pond, that light pole hasn't been working for ages.
Oh, no, it's been
Like since
working.
the fall.
It's been working intermittently because of the contractor.
Okay, so now it was dark from the turn up to the mansion at the golf course. All
Those
the way down
have
the back.
been on for several weeks now. Yes.
Dark when I leave tonight.
Yes,
Which way I'm gonna
they
go
were
out.
working. Miss Bashar asked the night of the dedication, they were on. Like, all the lights are on.
They were on.
And they have been on. I'm looking out there now. It's starting to get dark, but
Okay,
I expect to have them all working.
okay.
Tracy.
Okay, oh, hi, thank you. You said that the roadway to the athletic field was paved.
The apron by the gate.
Can you scroll up, please, right there? Gate to athletic roadway paved. So the pavement is up to the gate, but the actual roadway to the field is not paved, is that correct?
Correct, yes, that has item 4, and we filled in the potholes right now.
They put a little half-inch bit of tar on the
That was
roof
just
area.
remaining
Not
stuff
anything
that
that
was
would
left
last.
over
Right.
right now. No, that was just the leftover from when they did the apron from Pat Capone Road up to the gate.
I'm sorry, so you both were talking at the same time. There is tar a half an inch paved or no?
No, that the excess blacktop that was left over from when they did the Pat Capone roadway up until the athletic road gate. They just used some of the material just to fill the potholes that they had on the truck that was left over.
Okay, thank you. Is it going to be filled and addressed before? Is it going to be filled and paved before homecoming 2027?
I expect to have that roadway paved within the next short term, yes.
Okay.
It does go in, the blacktop does go in beyond.
Thank you.
It does go a little bit past the gate.
Yeah.
But the plan is to have blacktop from the gate all the way down to the field entrance where the other solar array is, the other gate there.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, about the this is news to me that we're gonna have the paving. How are we paying for that?
I have some money left over from this year's budget that I wanted to make sure that I was able to pay the lights and all the other concerns, utilities, and all the other things that we had. So I did create some purchase orders to have most of that roadway covered with this year's money.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
Chris.
Okay. Okay, got it. Help me okay, so thinking from here to 5 years, right? I haven't seen the chart. I haven't been back there since I came back in town. I know there's been discussion about going to your point about, wheelchair access and pedestrian access from the parking area to the field. Other districts have an asphalt or paved walkway of some sort. Is there drawings? Is there a plan, thinking maybe not today, maybe not this year, but are we starting to think of a plan on how to do that? Are there drawings that are I'm not talking BPS drawings, I'm talking about our in-district, where could a pathway be created that's paved so people aren't walking across a field that's in use, or they shouldn't be walking across, and so they're accessing both stands? I'll shut up.
Yeah, there is a gate on the visitors, the spectators. There's gates on each side of the track.
Uh-huh.
So you shouldn't have, or normal spectators shouldn't have to walk across the track.
So my
So,
question,
but Mr. Fugli, the point is, we just had this dedication to the field. And when you come down and I'm glad you have some money in your budget, but when you come down the newly paved road, there are going to be people who have handicap needs, or maybe for whatever reason need to come up to our home stands. Is there a plan, which Trustee Valen is asking you, is there a plan to pave that area at all if someone is in a wheelchair or has trouble with mobility, so that they can easily access our home stands? Or is your plan for them to go all the way around and then somehow?
well, even if they create a walkway that goes around the outer perimeter of the field, that I just want to know, right now we're walking on a hillside on grass or on gravel. Is there any thought to creating
Yeah,
a
we have to put some, we have to
sort of walkway
improve.
from the parking area
Yeah,
to the homestand? That's
yeah, we have to improve the, where the concession stand area would be. Right now, that's like item 4. We need to add more item 4 and possibly have, like, say if it was a handicapped person, where you could pull down the roadway to offload somebody, and then we could probably do something with the, around where the monument is to create a path to get up
right.
to the.
Because I'm talking
to the
about
area.
when I go park properly, because I shouldn't be parking over there in the back road to the home stand, if you ask me. I should be parking properly up under the solar panels, and walking to the field, not across the track, not on the track, walking around. I'm thinking of like Valhalla's field.
Correct, right, like right down,
Into my home
walk
stand,
down around
and
the
I'm not
roadway.
walking in the roadway with
Correct.
active traffic lane happening. I'd love it if you guys
We're planning on,
delineating something.
yeah, we are planning
Not
on
to
making
do
the
now,
roadway wider.
To make
also.
a plan.
Yeah, we are planning on making the roadway 20 feet wide instead of what it is now.
Okay, but I'm essentially talking about a sidewalk.
Yeah.
To get from
I
the
think it's
parking
a
lot
great
to the
idea.
home stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great idea. We're gonna add it to our discussions.
I have to raise my hand again because there's so many different things that are coming out. I heard one question, which was, is there a plan to pave that gravel area? So that's one question. The second thing I heard was, is there a way, if you're not handicapped and you're driving in and you go all the way to the proper parking, is there going to be a way to get from the proper parking to the home stands? And then the third thing I'm hearing is about widening the road right now. So there's 3 different things I heard. So
Okay.
can you maybe talk about separately those 3 things?
I'll talk about the solar carport array. I'm told that there's no plan to blacktop that under the solar array for drainage reasons. That plan is for the majority of the people. That would just be the stone typical of what it is now. As far as the roadway coming in, the roadway from the gate to where the solar carport gate is currently right now, that will all be new pavement and blacktop. And from there also including up to the field where the emergency ambulance or so, that's already paved right now. And that little section there on the radius heading towards it, that will all be pavement. As far as the other side, where we're on the home side, we have to have a discussion of, there isn't a plan right now and or funding, immediately to pave that section of the roadway. We could put some item 4 down and possibly create a couple of handicap spots and or a drop off and create a walkway that's fairly
exactly
smooth.
where people are walking if they're not.
Correct, yeah, we have to do something with the grades there.
So
We have to
what
do
I'm
something
going
with
with
the
is,
grade
if
there
you have
also.
X amount of dollars left over from this year, it sounds like you're using that to pave the existing width roadway from the gate to the, let's just call it the homestand turn. Right?
No,
Did I get that?
yes, narrow to the other side,
To the other
side, yeah.
Ambulance access is from the other side.
Okay, so that's going further than I thought. Okay, gotcha. And that's existing width. Because to go wider,
Yeah, right now the
we have an
roads,
issue with secret because the other side's got a stream, can't go that side.
oh, yeah, well,
This side's gonna be tricky.
it's like the edge of it now is like gravel. It's 20 feet, but it's not usable because it's not really a road is what the problem is.
Right, and it's gonna,
Yeah, we're gonna make it so that you can actually drive on it, not increase the footprint, put it that way. But it'll be safer where you could walk on it. Cause right now those cars, they used to park in the grass.
So the plan to widen the road is for the future, or is that part of when
Oh,
you
no,
said
by just paving the road to make it more usable. The footprint of the road is gonna stay the same.
Okay,
Confusion
Yes.
when you said widen the road.
Yeah, maybe I misled to get more walking space out of the roadway. Maybe we cut the bushes back where it's overgrown. Maybe where the rocks are put on the bottom of the field now, we can move those forward so that we can have a walkway for the people that want to walk around the track, so they're not walking in the road, but we'll have to have that discussion.
But you also alluded to the fact that the edges are not usable because they're like crumbling. Right?
Correct, yes. Right.
So that's what I think what you meant by the widening.
Yeah.
Widening the use of the existing road width.
Correct.
So that it's worthy up to the 20 feet. Wide.
Correct.
So
like some areas, it's just been washed out or.
Right. So
it's mud.
Is there anything that can prevent any future deterioration of the corners? Because I mean, they are susceptible to just crumbling over time.
Okay, it's just, I think.
Are you talking about drainage?
we're gonna have drainage.
Well, I mean.
Yes.
If you're gonna pave it with asphalt or whatever, that's gonna.
Correct, we are gonna, to raise, there's a couple of the areas where the water runs across the road, we're gonna put some additional gravel down, so the road will be up another inch or two and the water won't affect it.
In the same way that you guys use the stone to outline like Capone, that technique can't be used to help prevent further erosion of the.
Like, depends, like, there's low-lying lands there, it's not so much as runoff from the mountain like you have from like the mansion where you have to change in elevation where everything just washes down the hill. That's, you have a couple of areas where it's fairly flat there, but it is moist. If you were to put another 2 inches of stone down or build up the road to higher, then the water's not gonna sit there. The water's gonna find its way onto the sides.
Okay.
Did I answer all of your questions there, Trustee Mayors?
I think no response.
Yes, I just wanted clarity about that roadway.
Okay.
Okay. And we're on Woodlands and we went through, we heard about the fence. Yeah.
That's the issue. Oh, the mansion.
One screens have been installed.
Next one?
Yeah.
Tennis court.
I wanna know if the tennis court, if they came, last meeting, I thought I heard that they had to come and patch up.
They already patched the crack.
The crack on
The crack has been sealed. I believe they will be coming back to touch up the lines and reseed around the court.
So that's still not been done.
That's still pending.
Still
I
pending.
believe.
Do we know when they'll be doing it?
I believe that they're waiting for after the school to be out,
Okay.
sometime before they camp.
Before camp, which.
July 6th starts camp.
Okay.
I shouldn't say camp, it's
Yes.
really the.
Town of Greenburgh
Well, we have
program.
a few town camps, but we also have our own programs as well.
Are the camp's gonna be allowed to use the tennis courts during this one?
I don't think that
They
these are,
didn't,
these are very young
Yeah.
campers.
they didn't put a building use in specifically for this space now.
Clay on the baseball field.
I know you want to turn the page. Soccer field's been seeded, et cetera. I know it's most likely scheduled for heavy use this summer. I'm going to repeat my concern that I express at nearly every meeting, that perhaps we are permitting too much use on that field by third parties before our own seasons start. I just need you guys to be considerate of that.
I agree. I mean, look at the where we're gonna have the graduation now. We close that up for a month or two and it looks
Right.
500% better.
Right.
The fields need time to recuperate.
Right, but now, like I said, during the summer, we have minimum 2 groups out there, multiple days a week, multiple hours for the day. During the heat of summer, not rainy summer.
Which is why we should have the other field open.
As long as those parties complete facilities use request
Yeah.
forms, and they have not.
Yep.
Let's move forward. For Chris to lead.
And we're gonna turn the page and go to the
Turn the
next.
page now.
Okay, one broken window remains at the old pool entrance caused by settling of the foundation. Spoke about the need for a retaining wall. Definitely a certificate of occupancy has been issued for that building. A teacher center, nothing new to report. Bus garage, Ms. Merrill spoke about the
5-year.
the 5-year delay with the buses. We did remove some trees on the north side of the parking lot. And that's pretty much it. We talked about the electrification and the buses before. Rooftop solar energy contract. We did speak about that for the RFPs that are coming out this week. The walkthrough is tomorrow and the opening is on the 24th.
Okay.
And maybe there, we're gonna be able to get the recommendation by the reorg meeting. We thought
So what they said is tomorrow we have the pre-proposal meeting and a walkthrough. The RFPs are due the next day on Wednesday by 11 a.m. BBS said that they receive the proposals electronically. We also receive them, the district receives them as well. They said it would take them a couple of days to tally up the numbers and they would be providing their recommendation.
Okay, so I'd be looking to hopefully get that recommendation by July 10th, when we might be finalizing the agenda for July 16th meeting.
I mean, I think that is doable.
Sounds doable, okay.
I think it's doable. I mean, this Wednesday is June 24th, so it's what, 16 days?
Okay.
Something like that.
I'm gonna write it down.
Okay.
One quick note, when you're doing the walkthrough about the panel and everything would be, we making sure that we get the most advanced solar panels and not the generic leftovers from other.
I will defer to Mr. Puglisi.
Okay, and I will bring that up with the,
I'm just
Mr.
saying,
Siebel, Mr. Siebel will be at the meeting because we're gonna, the contractor is gonna have questions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that.
But we should be able to make a statement, not a question, tell them, this is what we want, because these are going up there for long term. So, you know, all this, like, nobody really talks about that, but whatever panels you put up now should be the best we can afford.
Absolutely.
That's why it's an RFP. They don't have to go for low bid. They can.
Yeah, but there are 5 different types of panels. So it doesn't matter if they put a low bid and say this versus a high bid and say this, they could still do a high bid and give you low panel.
So that's why our architects and
There'll
engineers
be,
will be
there'll be
looking
a
at all
meeting
of that.
tomorrow, and I'll make sure that comes up in the discussion.
I think that's a very important point that Morton brought up.
And then, we have a bunch of, we're on item number 5, which is mostly historical data, and we're waiting for the water main project to close out so that we can eliminate it. There's the previous year's budget, vote as opposed to, and then legal issues must be resolved with stone notes before we can proceed. And we've done that to death. And if funding allows, we'll have a change order to draft additional fire hydrant along the eastern side of Wise Way within 100 feet of the mansion. We'll see. Okay. And the capital reserves, we got the capital reserves from last year, and there'll be some interest, right? That will, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
When will we get updated numbers on this?
When our financials are finished, which is usually around the beginning of September.
All right. September, and we have something.
Do we have meetings in the middle of the summer for this committee?
No, typically no.
What was your page listed at that time?
Are we on a different page?
Page 6.
I'm going one page at a time. Mine is written on one side only.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, there was a possibility you're gonna replenish the repair reserve, but you don't know how much money you've got left over at the end of the year. Okay. Okay, so we'll wait until September and we'll see what we have. So that brings us to phase 4. Okay, the question was what products should be included? When should it begin? How much financial risk are we willing to accept? So we were basically going from the first bullet, what projects should be included, and there have been several months worth of changes. So there's a big chart. Scroll forward to beginning of page 8, and it continues for several pages. And we're going to go over really quickly each of the things in this chart. And if we agree that we have enough information to proceed, then we will take a little vote to prioritize these projects and go from there. And if we do that, then I will feel we have accomplished really something important for the year. Okay, so the first project option is priority 1 and 2 buildings condition survey items. So we have a building condition survey that's from 2020, but we upgraded the costs to make them closer to current costs. And there are, we prioritized everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the lowest priority, 1 and 2 being the highest priority. And we came up with these are the total costs if you go into this building condition survey. And for the admin building, it'd be the $8,753,000. For ECP, it'd be $1,029,000, and so on down the line. And if we did them all, it'd be 53 million. So we probably won't do the whole option at one time. We might do it in pieces. Okay, that's the first option. Exterior shelves, which is the favorite of the administration. You want to talk about exterior shelves for a minute?
Oh, if I had to pick something that's important, just the sides of the buildings for door safety. A lot of our windows are single pane glass. We had the coldest winter that we had in a long time, and we just did all these energy upgrades, new boilers and insulation, but the side of the buildings leaking a substantial amount of heat. These buildings were built by an architect from New Mexico and Arizona, and they're not conducive to the Northeast conditions here in the winter.
I mean, there were several classrooms this winter on those like bitter cold days that we had to put space heaters in the classrooms to have them warm enough for the students to use them. So that's where your exterior shell really plays a huge part, because the building isn't able to retain the heat inside.
Okay, and again, since it's $24 million, you could break it down by school, and it's listed there. Mansion ventilation and administrative rehab. This we looked at we had just the total for HVAC, what we have to do to get the heating and air conditioning up to speed. We used grant money, federal grant money to do all our schools, but the admin building wasn't occupied at the time, so it kind of got left out. So the HVAC was 2.8 million, and the question is, what else would you have to do if you really wanted to at least move the administration back in there? And there were ADA compliance issues, there were fire alarm issues, there was a retaining wall in the southwest corner because the slope is eroding out from under the building. And so if you add all that stuff in, there are BCS items listed here, and then it's $4,939,000. So if you did that, that means that you could move administration back out of the high school and free up a bunch of space in the high school. So that's an option. ECP classrooms at LFJ. The idea is the new person we're hiring to replace Mr. Washington is good. You know, they have the work cut out for them because they have ECP Maine and they have some ECP students at Lee F. Jackson, and they even have some ECP students at Highview. And so the administration is running around amongst them. It'd be better and more efficient if we put them in one spot. And we have a couple of different options that to make Lee F. Jackson bigger and move all our kids there. So that's a big project that would take a long time to do. We've been asking for an enrollment projection. Our old enrollment projection from 2019 is just about run its course. So when do you think we'll have?
That would be something that we would look to have a coaster with BOCES.
I was gonna ask you, I think.
BOCES, they do the cohort
one that
survival.
we have the other financial data from, I think they also do enrollment projections.
Yeah, they usually do 10-year enrollment projections. We just will have to,
And is there a plan to do that, or we have to recommend it to get the money, or what will happen?
administration will talk about it.
Yeah, because it might be part of the service we already have.
Okay. Oh,
I think but isn't the enrollment projection we currently have, wasn't that done in 2019?
yes,
So it's still, we're still within the
Yeah.
10 years.
correct. But by the time you
Right.
build
I
an
agree.
ECP,
Yes.
then look how long things take. Okay.
Yes.
It'll have run out. So the question is, what does enrollment look like in the
Beyond
future? Are houses becoming so expensive that only people that are slightly older who don't have ECP level children are the only people buying them? So is our ECP gonna shrink, or are they gonna stay?
Plus,
As
we
it
know
is.
that we're going into the mandate that's gonna take effect in 28-29. And, you know, between who we can contract with CBO wise, if we have more space for the students, it would be good to know.
It's a mandate for 4-year-olds, not 3-year-olds. correct?
4-year-olds only, and it's, if they wanna come, we have to have a seat for them.
Okay, so now it's not an optional thing.
It's not optional anymore, and starting with 28-29 school year.
Okay, is the state gonna do anything to help out?
Well, what they did this year, actually will start in 26-27, is they did increase the amount per pupil. So most districts are getting minimally $10,000 per student. Obviously, each district's amount that they receive prior to this is based on their finances and their wealth ratio. So I'll just tell you, we were receiving just under 7,000 per student, like 6,700 and change. And we will now be receiving 10,000 per student. However,
Not that for some students.
However, there was state funding that is being taken away. There was the statewide, I think it's called statewide funding. So they increased you on one side of the fence, but the other side of the fence, they took that funding away. So, and the way I look at it, it's not a huge increase.
So what is the amount we'll get after you do the subtraction and addition?
probably about, I would say maybe 2,000 per student addition.
Okay.
But let's be, okay, I'll wait my turn.
I think Megan
Yeah.
first.
Megan first.
Megan.
All right. I think I missed what was the deadline we're coming up to for ECP? What is changing?
There's a mandate that is going into effect starting in the 28-29 school year, where all districts in New York State, it is mandatory for 4-year-olds if the parents or families want to send their 4-year-old for UPK, every district must have a seat for them. It's no longer optional. So in other words, you know, we have a cap right now we have a cap. And there's a lottery. If we had enough people enroll, there's a lottery and we could only accept you up to our cap number. I'm just gonna use 68 as a random number.
Yeah.
In 28-29, if 100 parents come forward that they want their 4-year-olds to be enrolled in UPK, we have to have a seat for them, whether it be at our district or through a community-based organization. So that's something that we're planning ahead for.
But I'm confused. How is that different than now? Because now we do have seats through a community-based organization, right?
Yes, but I believe we only have a contract with one, and there is a limited number of seats. So that does play into our limit.
So is there concern that just because this is becoming a mandate, my understanding is we haven't had to go to a wait list for ECP in recent years. We've had a number of seats to fit the interest that was there. Do we think that once the mandate comes in, that interest will increase?
I can't predict that. I mean, I'm not really
That's
sure.
that's the purpose of projection.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why we would kind of look to get an enrollment projection to see, we let the professionals tell us if they think that we're going to have an increase in enrollment in future years.
Okay.
Okay. Chris?
You covered one of the things I was gonna say. The other thing I was gonna say, just to inform people, so we, various board members, when we're advocating with our legislators, for example, we were explaining if you are forcing us to convert to electric vehicles by 2027, 2032, and many districts, we're in a better situation with our early childhood program than many districts who don't have space and don't have community partners, so we're better off. But I said, we can't construct EV stations and do these things that you're asking us all with the same pot of money. And that's partly why I think our advocacy helped them understand the EV thing for various reasons, but from the school district point of view, if they could push that off a little bit, then that would allow room for districts to focus on this effort. I'm also just gonna say that the money per student, we can't look at that as money to build a building.
No.
That money
Doesn't come until the kids
covers
come.
the educators and the programming. It's not construction costs. Which is why we're trying to do the best we can with the facilities we have and why we are spread across 3 buildings to get as many children serviced as possible. And also just to miss that, we have had a few people on the wait list, but usually sometime during the year spots open up. So it has been a little bit touch and go, and we're trying to get additional community partners because we're trying to prevent children having to wait for seats as much as possible, or us having to make really hard decisions about what preschooler population we're able to serve. We don't want to ever have to make those hard decisions. So that's why we're looking at all of these things at a bigger picture level.
Tracy?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to need to know what is the financial plan through 28, 29. I understand you need to wait for enrollment projections, but I have some extreme concerns because this may become a situation where we have to do some construction to make room for required 4-year-olds. I heard a community member tonight talk about use of our facilities because they paid for it with their tax dollars. And having space for 4-year-olds is not something that all of the community is going to be able to use. In the past, I've also heard, with the tennis courts, everyone wanting access to this. There's a big fight that always comes up whenever we mention the mansion. So how are we going to do what we need to do for students because it's required? Like, I'm going to need to hear more about the financial plan for that, which is separate from the facilities committee.
I mean, I will just tell you right now, looking in the future, we're looking to expand our community-based organizations, given the size space that we currently have.
Right, but if we don't, okay, all right, I'll wait to see how that works.
Before Mr. Simon, President Maris, I just might as well take this opportunity to inform the community. There is a finance committee meeting scheduled for this Friday, June 26th at 1 p.m. at the Woodlands Middle High School Little Theater. All are welcome to attend in person. And we'll be touching a little bit, President Maris, on what we'd like to see in a 5-year financial plan that would hopefully be created by this fall. So that's one of the topics we'll be addressing.
I look forward to the
Yeah,
results.
that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Walter.
Yeah. Now, our current situation, we say that we're servicing all of our students. There's very few of our students who don't get placed. Is that correct? Whether it's on our facility or with partnering with someone else. There are very few, if any, students who are not being placed. Then why would the state mandate change that number of students in our district who needs to be placed? I don't see the relationship between the state mandate and our ability to provide for accommodation for all the students in our district. Why should that change because the state law changed?
So the state mandate was for all New York State school districts, and there are a lot of school districts that do not offer UPK currently. So as Trustee Valen said, we are in a much better position because we already have a program set up. A lot of other districts are starting from the bottom, like they have nothing. They don't have space. They don't have CBOs. They're struggling to figure out where they're going to be in a couple of years. My understanding is that we haven't had to turn folks away, or even the ones that do go on waiting lists, they end up getting in. But with the one CBO that we currently have, those seats are full from what I understand. So we need to branch out.
And if I could piggyback off you, Ms. Merrill, I think the issue is since every other district now needs to ensure placement of a student,
Right.
We might have competition for those community-based organizations.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so that's the effect. Okay, fine.
I think also, Mr. Simon, once the state moves to requiring 4-year-olds to be accommodated at your public school system, that means 4-year-old childcare, daycares are gonna now have to be vying for student attendance. Public school education is essentially, I guess, free. You don't have that bill of daycare, and the numbers will probably go up. So that's the other piece.
But all schools would be providing that. They're under this model.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so that still shouldn't not have an effect on our school district. Only on the case where we have partners, I see a competition there. But
CBO.
Because we do use those seats from outside organizations to ensure that the students who come to us are being.
Right.
no, I recognize that. So that could be the issue with the spillover we have in going to the outsourcing those services. So the real effect in space for our district should be the total number of kids that we're accommodating, whether or not it's in the district or with partners. And for planning purposes, that should be the numbers that we worried about, not not the state law itself, but the practical effect on our school district.
Yes,
Okay.
Jessica.
Okay, so yeah, so that should be our focus. Okay.
Thank you.
Jessica?
Hey, thank you. I'm also thinking that with this state mandate, more parents may be considering sending their 4-year-olds to formal school versus daycare.
That was my point, yeah.
But I think that the key piece I'm taking away from this is that enrollment study has to be done. I know there are a lot more baby carriages in my neighborhood. And I think that's just what I'm noticing, but I would like to see the numbers. But also the cost differential, and this would probably be at the finance meeting, I'm sorry, I can't make it, of sending a student to a CBO, for 10 months at a daycare, you're probably spending about $18,000 at least, versus educating a student in the district. Kind of comparing those two and thinking about the building of a facility, like the long-term cost. I'm gonna say for having the kids across 3 schools has been extremely difficult. I think it breaks the uniformity and the welcoming that ECP should be providing for the district. It's been a huge stress for the PTAs. I know that's not a criteria for this, but managing across 3 buildings is really, really difficult. But I think I would want to see those financials of kind of where the costs would come in, but needing to know what those numbers are. So that's just, I've always been a huge proponent of building on here, but with all of our other work, I'd want to see the numbers.
If you're talking about the cost of construction, that's what we're on, right? EC plus.
Yeah, but I'd want to know, kind of seeing the value of building on versus kind of sending kids out to other spaces for at CBOs.
But we,
Mm-hmm.
the money we get from the state for child does not go towards, I guess I don't know.
So here's what I'll tell you. This is one concern that all the school districts have that they're seeing. The CBOs are well aware of how much money each district gets. So the contracts that they're setting up for, I'll just use us as an example. It's public knowledge how much we're gonna get from per student. When we want to go out for an RFP for a contract with a CBO, they're gonna come in that they want $10,000 per student. So what some districts are doing is, because we still have the administrative costs of managing the program, we would want to build in to the contract with the CBO to absorb the administrative cost, and then, the per pupil rate minus the administrative cost. I think they're using about 10% for the administrative cost. So there's no money to be made.
No, I wasn't talking about money to be made, but that's also interesting that you might not be paying the same rate as a parent paying privately, which would impede availability. Okay.
Legally, they cannot charge the parent the differential.
No.
No, I'm talking about when I privately paid for daycare before my kids were eligible.
Right, which is why it becomes an issue, because getting people to sign up with a CBO, knowing that say they want 10,000 per student, which is much less
Yep.
than what they can charge that parent individually, right? So it's gonna have to look at the market. That was my point. More people are gonna flock to free, for lack of a better term, early education than paying whatever thousands per month for childcare. Some may still choose, but I think more people will, especially if they're moving to the suburbs and our taxes continue to increase from the town, right? So when that happens, are we going to be prepared? That's my concern.
Yeah. So yeah, I think my main point was the enrollment study is really important to be able to think about where this project would fall in order of importance for me.
And Dr. Allen sent me an email that she said, you know, be sure to figure in the Greenburgh Housing Authority expansion when you do your enrollment projections.
And I thought the presentation they shared was that it would not be additional students.
They said they've changed the parameters of the expansion slightly, but that, well, her email said that she felt that the increase in students would be about the same as they talked about in the presentation. Okay. Okay, so that looks key. That may stop the whole thing. Let's just go over the additional options and I'll ask everybody. Soccer fields, we looked at that. 2.6 million. So dedicated soccer fields, right? With the bells and whistles. Cell tower on Woodlands campus. Late at the last meeting, the tech department said, "Oh, this is an option? No, we have better options that we let's see, bring up and there's an email, I believe, that someone named Luke Johnson wrote."
You go, trustee Warner.
Yeah, talk it.
Sure. So the short summary, I don't want to be like, hello, David. So instead of pursuing a highly disruptive and heavily regulated traditional cell tower, the technology department is investing in a high capacity fiber connection out to Eller football field. This initiative will utilize next generation Cisco hardware and the technology department is investigating using secure roaming protocols to give users seamless mobile or Wi-Fi connectivity while completely preserving the community's visual landscape. Please note there will be associated costs. And we've done an informal kind of like report on this. Basically, there would be a lot of pushback about getting a commercial tower up, probably a cost, and you'd have to say, would there be a company interested? The main thing is, though, we are building on a fiber connection out there, and we're probably going to utilize our current fiber network and our wireless AP upgrades to run mobile, basically. So, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. What do I raise my hand?
I'm not going to comment on the cell tower because you can go either way with that about the community needing it versus like right now, I can barely get a signal in here without anything. But how long would it take and how much money is associated to do all this connectivity to make sure that we have a viable signal out there? And how long would it take? Because right now we have nothing. So.
Well, the fiber project has already started.
That has already started, correct?
Started, and is that going to improve the Wi-Fi?
Yes, we're going to have a Wi-Fi signal out there.
Okay.
So the Wi-Fi signal, and then the idea is once the Wi-Fi signal is up, we're going to use this technology so you can just, whenever you connect. So the idea, in theory, right, you connect to the Wi-Fi once, right? You never have to again, basically. And so when you go out there, right, it'll automatically connect to your 4G signal instead of having you to manually connect to the Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much how.
Would that cover the whole campus? Because there's so many blackout areas in the
Yes.
whole campus.
Well, it's not gonna cover, it's not realistically gonna cover the whole campus.
Well, I mean, this is the problem we're having, because it's not just the football field. When you're walking down by Stone Oak, you can't get a signal. When you're walking by Pine Field, you can't get a signal. When you're walking by the buildings here, you can't get a signal.
Are you connected to Wi-Fi?
No, but
So-
what if you're just a visitor? What if you're coming to the
We
graduation?
have a guest Wi-Fi.
No, but what I'm saying is, do they know you have a guest Wi? I didn't see it come up here. It's not coming up on my phone right now to get Wi-Fi.
Don't open the door.
But, so the short story is that we're investigating a technology, so we'll have mobile. So when you are around here, you will have 4G. Okay? When you are around the buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
I'm
guarantee.
getting at it, you got all these people going to the tennis court who, I'm just saying, they don't know, do I connect to Wi-Fi? They can't get a signal.
You think our job is not to let everyone in the world
But when you're on,
I'm gonna be the bad
that's
guy.
a safety reason. When you're on it,
the district Wi-Fi, because we need to restrict the use for the safety, security, and education of our students and our staff.
And we also need kids to be safe when they're walking home or they're riding.
Absolutely.
And they have to.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying.
So the
is
students
that-
have connectivity, you and the neighbors might not. So.
Walter.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. First of all, the issue of security, I think, I don't think is an issue, because you go to most public buildings when you're in a hospital, a movie theater, any place else. There's two separate systems. You have the public access, and you have the secured access that requires a password. So you could separate the school's system from public access. I mean, that's a common practice. So the issue for me is, when do we expect to have Wi-Fi coverage for the school system on a private network, and also have a guest network in effect that covers the entire campus? When are we expected to have that completed, and what would be the associated cost?
Do we have estimates?
Take care of all of that?
Fiber project's gonna take care of the connectivity down to Eller Field.
Yes.
The access point upgrades that we've been discussing will take care of the guest network. And that's coming this summer too, or in theory, yeah,
So it's already budgeted for.
yes.
Okay, and when we expect to have those systems online?
Probably by the fall, right? By the fall.
Okay,
And the
fine.
important thing is, it was really important to get the connectivity down to the field. Because a lot of times, if you have cameras or different things, you need to have Wi-Fi down there for those things to be able to work.
Right.
So, that fiber project is going through BOCES, I believe, correct? So it is budgeted and it is aidable. The access points they had already started on, didn't they? You're not talking about the access points.
It's a bit of both. It's like we're upgrading the access point so we can have a better guest system, and that we could also then have this mobile system as well. So, yes.
Thank you. You answered my questions. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see that we will have access throughout the campus sometime later this year. Thank you.
Welcome.
Tracy.
I guess I'm surprised that this is a discussion when, we now partner with BOCES and we still don't have cell phone working a lot of the time. Excuse me, telephone working, basic ground telephone working much of the time. And if you're a parent and you try to call the school, you can't get through to the school's service is shut down by BOCES. It's a lyric issue. you know, I'm wondering if we're throwing good money out after bad when they're the ones that I just heard would be managing this as well. So would it make more sense to kind of get a handle on the basic phone lines before we just continue to build lines for Wi-Fi that's also going to be down?
So you want to cease the project?
I don't know where she went.
I don't know, she's cooking, so she's in and out. So,
Well, we didn't exactly say that BOCES was managing the program. BOCES is installing the fiber optic, like what needs to be installed. For
So
the
again, are we just putting in Wi-Fi for it not to work the same way it doesn't work now some of the time?
I would have to defer to technology, but I think the overall goal is to
Speak
have.
to the VoIP.
Yeah, the VoIP is the phone
That's the
system
phone
and
system.
that's
Yes,
getting ready
so-
to age
which
out.
is on our project list.
Yes, so the two parts here. We are actively doing a Wi-Fi upgrade, right? We have everything in place. It just has to be put up and certain things have to be changed out. So that's one part of that. The VoIP system is very old and it's running into issues is the best way to put it. And so that also needs to be upgraded. Is the best way to put that. Yeah.
I think it has an end of life.
It does have an end of
right?
life. Yeah, it has a strict end of life of
2029.
2029. Yeah.
And that is on farther down the project list, that
Yeah.
telephone system is listed.
Yeah. I think we're gonna probably be doing like, I won't get into details because I.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we answer your question?
No, I'm wondering if why we're trying to do something new when we already have something existing that doesn't work.
I think the idea is that the fiber optic and the access points are going to enhance what we currently have.
I think what they're saying, it's kind of like how you have a new computer and it works great. And after a while, you have an old computer and it doesn't work so great because maybe it's not capable of being updated to be compatible with the rest of the network. And the same sort of thing is happening, but with our phone system. So the problem is that it's old.
So both things are moving along, just on two different tracks.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I interject and follow up on what was just said? Then when do we expect the phone system to be updated?
That is a project that's
On the list.
listed on the, it's towards the bottom of the list.
And we do have cost for that.
And what
Okay.
we said, it says here, end of life is 2029.
Yes.
So based upon this, we're saying that we have 3 more years of poor telephone service? Does that what that mean?
Unless you want to do something sooner.
Unless we do something sooner.
Okay.
Pardon me?
We could do something sooner.
If I'm not aware of the severity of the phone system, but for people who are using the phone system, saying, describing it the way they have, it would seem to me that should be high priority as opposed to waiting to 2029.
I'll be honest with you, before tonight, I wasn't aware of a phone issue.
So let's just be clear, because before we move back to where we were, the phone issue is when people try to call in, just to put everyone at ease, people calling out if there were an emergency, people in district can call out.
Are you sure about that, Trustee Valen? I know people in district can call one another. You're saying they can get a line out.
I need confirmation from Mr. Johnson.
Yes, they can call out.
So then they're unaware that there's a problem because it seems to work fine for them.
So There was an outage, I believe, I forget when it was, maybe in the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That was on Verizon's end, right?
There's more than one outage, guys. This is not a one-time thing. And the board should know that because there's text messages that go around when this is happening. This is not a one-time thing.
I think
At
Mr.
one
Johnson is
time-
just describing what happened a few weeks ago.
A one-time thing a few weeks ago. It hasn't been a one-time thing, no.
Okay,
Before we move on, again,
Yes.
David, I said, what is the decision on the phones? Again, we talked a lot about the problem.
okay, so we're looking at a big table full of options of how we can spend our money. And we're gonna try and figure out what's the most important thing to spend your money on. So then we'll rate each thing,
Okay,
including funds. And if you wanna go for that project, then you give it a low number and say, this is higher priority item. And then it'll come out towards the top, and then we'll push for it and try and figure out how do we pay for it. Okay, so given that, why don't we push through to the end, because we're very close to the end. All right, the cafeteria was a suggestion from the people who were here, who said, hey, the cafeteria looks bad. We saw pictures of the cafeteria windows and said, and the administration kind of came back and said, that's part of shells. Please don't change part of the shells on a building and leave the rest. And the problem is, of course, if you do the shells for Woodlands, it's $12 million. So then we got to think about it. Okay, so that, do you want to say anything? All right. Then.
So it's really already included in a previous project, is what we're saying.
Yes.
So do you want people to vote on two separate things for the same project?
Well, what do people think?
Is it gonna matter whether we vote tonight or back in September when we come back?
I am going to ask the question, once we get through these options, if you think we're ready to vote. Okay. And if we're not ready to vote, then we're not ready to vote, in which point it's moot. And then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Hold that thought. Okay, then, last page. So we've got the three technology plans that were described in the technology presentation last time. The innovation lab, where we did had a bunch of things. This space here, in which we kind of replaced the furniture and painted it in various interesting colors, and then we put in it things for people to do. Right, so you could have, 3D printers. It's an innovation lab. It's supposed to be set up for, you could sit here and you could write music, okay? If you had the proper equipment in front of you. And so that was, one project, and that was $250,000. Then the safety and security upgrades, door access, lockdown systems, wireless locks totaled $1.8 million. And communication systems, which we have referenced, the voice over IP replacement system, that's the phones, $250,000. A guest management system, $200,000. A new student management system that takes attendance for you basically in an automated way, $56,000 for a total of $506,000. There, that's everything on the list. So now we have a spreadsheet which contains all the options across the top and all of the names of the people who are official voting members of the facilities committee that the board has approved. And then we figure out, what do you think is high versus low priority? And then we total it up and low total wins. Okay, so that's what we would do if we think we're ready. And as far as I can tell, the one thing that is missing is that enrollment study. So do people think that we're ready to prioritize?
No.
Okay. Chris?
I abstain.
No,
We should still do it to get the ball rolling.
yeah.
I don't have a vote.
Okay. Walter?
Yeah, this is a lot, I don't feel for myself, I could do justice in taking a vote because I would need, what I plan to do is to go through all the data that you have provided this evening, read it thoroughly, and then take my time and carefully voting. And that's something, I'm an old guy, maybe my brain don't work that fast, but I cannot absorb all of this information in 2 hours and come up with an intelligent, thoughtful way of voting. I can't do that. So maybe other people can, but I don't have the capability of doing that because you really need to carefully compare this and before you're making a vote. I for one believe that, the issue of all this we're doing all this stuff to save energy and we're surrounded by all these windows. So all the energy we save in, we just throwing out the window. So, anyhow.
Yeah. Okay, so September, you're thinking, and you need time to cogitate in addition to any information. Okay, Megan?
Couldn't we just do like a date 2 weeks from now that everyone has time to either review this meeting if they weren't here, look at the agenda to see the items, and then you say the sheet closes 2 weeks from now and you have time to put in your vote. That way in September we have that talking point to work off of.
We could set a deadline. Is there an open meetings law problem with doing that? As long as we confirm it at a meeting?
I'm not an expert. It'd be good if they gave you their priorities instead of having the sheet open to everybody. Possibly,
Okay.
kind of like you're individually polling
I can-
and collating the data.
I can lock the sheet up so that only a few people can get in, and we can run it that way. So
I think what trustee Valen was saying was not to leave the sheet open as a Google sheet and let people auto-populate it themselves, right? They would-
Basically send you
They would
individually.
send you
votes,
the information and you would
tabulate,
populate the sheet.
So- And then bring
Yeah.
that into the next meeting for discussion point. That could be a way.
That-
Again, I'm not the expert. I'm
yeah,
just-
well, no,
Our multiple
a
questions of
district
lawyers.
clerk would be someone we would ask. So yeah.
Also willing to make a Google form, right, with just these fields, and then that data I could share with you. I mean, it doesn't matter who shares it, right? But it could just be in a Google form then if you don't want this physical sheet
No, it's
open.
not that. It's that you can't, this is a meeting. This is an official
Right. So you have
meeting
to-
with voting members. So publicly, it has to happen publicly. And so what he's saying is it would be violating open meetings law to do it offline, non-publicly.
But we could take the data in offline and present it at a public meeting.
But
Are
then
people
you would
allowed
have to,
Email board members? And then board members can do what they want with the info?
So you share with the chair of the committee, who is currently David Warner, and he would tabulate.
And I would tabulate, and then we would present it at a public meeting.
Right, he wouldn't
And-
share it out until the next meeting in September for our walkthrough.
And that would be open, or a walkthrough, or a facilities walkthrough, which we have to schedule after we know what dates are taken up by other things. Okay.
but David, you still you can't take the vote until that public meeting. You
No,
still
but he can
take-
individually get the information from the committee members individually, and then he can populate the data that he gets from folks individually and then present it at the meeting.
But we still have to vote at that meeting. You can't pre-vote and then present the information at a public meeting and say, this is what we decide. That's a violation of the open meetings law.
Yes, but if he gives his you know how David does his minutes and stuff beforehand? He would give his minutes with all of the data, the document that was created from his individual outreach.
A
And then
discussion ensue, and then there'd be an official vote. Does anyone have any questions, any comments, any discussion? Do they want to change what you're voting? And okay, well, now what is our formal recommendation to the board or to the administration? Absolutely. Or, I mean, this is if no one feels they have information or energy to contribute.
All right, so we'll consider this as information, and then we'll make a formal decision based upon that information. When would you like to do the, well, wait a minute. Okay,
Can I
so-
just say one more thing? We've talked about all of these things for a long time, so none of these are new.
Right.
So, you know, I don't have a problem waiting because I don't know that we're gonna act on anything right away anyway, but to go around saying these are new, that's not the case. Like, if you've been watching other meetings or coming, like, we've talked about every single one, at least once and most multiple times. So it's just not new, that's what I'm saying.
So out of curiosity, I don't think you're breaking open that law that was just expressed, because all you're doing is aggregating the data that people are sharing with you. You have a Google form and people are just allowed the opportunity at their leisure to fill out that information. And then you take that aggregated data and you present it as what's been aggregated, of which then what Trustee Ballin just said would then be shared as what we have on the table.
We're walking in a
Yeah.
weird line if we're all filling in a spreadsheet, because then we're seeing what everyone else is doing.
No, you're not though. That's what I'm saying, because this could be
Right, which is why
converted.
if he gathers it
Yeah.
alone
Awesome. Yeah.
and tabulates it alone
Yeah.
without us having access to it.
Well, you
But
can do the Google form that's open-ended so that people, if they change their minds during the course of, they can still go back in there and change their selections. That's what I'm saying. Sorry.
Okay, before we just sit here, keep talking about the how to do what, because it sounds like we're not going to discuss them, but I just have a couple of points to make. One, I need to do my normal reminder that this is information to get a recommendation from the committee, which will be presented at a board meeting to the board and the administration. The board and the administration can always differ from what the committee recommends and make their own recommendations and move forward. This is just to get some input from this small group of community members. I will also just identify a couple of things here. Because I'm on both areas, I do like to know what administration is recommending. I also know that I'm going to be interested in the financial plan and the enrollment, but I do know my priorities because it's the same thing that we've been talking about for 5 years. To your point. I'm also identifying some of these things for me in my ideal world. Some of this stuff is getting built into yearly departmental budgets on a phased basis, instead of having it be a project where we're possibly considering using money from the capital reserve or the repair reserve. I would love some of this stuff to be just built in yearly. Because we're not going to change that design. It's not going to be decided by us tonight. That's got to be part of the normal budgeting process and what we communicate to administration and therefore to departments if the administration agrees with that. I just had to say all that.
Great. Okay, so I think the nays have it. We're not going to vote tonight. So we will concoct some means by which you can, if you are a voting member of this committee, let's see, the voting membership goes through, well, okay. We're gonna have to figure out who wants to be on the committee next year and so on. But we can take the information down anyway,
What you could do.
because it's a
if I
25,
could make a
26.
suggestion, if you want people who are currently on this list, who are current voting members.
Yep.
To email you prior to June 30th with their ranked order. I know you want to create a sheet,
No, no.
but if everyone just, you could do copy paste too.
Sure.
In your email and send it to you by June 30th, then you at least have information from the current committee composition.
Good.
Okay.
And there's this, and there it is, there's a spreadsheet, and we'll take my numbers off of
Yeah,
there.
copy
and
paste the top row, copy paste the top row, throw it into your email and put a number on there.
Yep.
Send it to dwarner@greenburghcsd.org if you're on that list.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
All those in favor? Aye.
Yes, please. Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Good, okay, opposed? We're set. Okay, so. Down to the tail end of the agenda. Has anybody sent us a letter saying they'd like to donate some money for science purposes? No responses to our, okay. How about a letter, how about the letter for the possible donation for the mansion?
I need to check.
The
with-
Rappaport letter?
Yes,
I need to follow up with administration and get back to you on that.
So we just need a copy of the letter. Can you just put a copy of the letter even in the board packet? It needs to be shared with Mr. Rappaport so he can.
I think that may have already happened. The letter is currently with the superintendent, so I will communicate what we would like to do with that.
okay. Fair enough. That's all I have. Oh, wait. Minutes for the 5/7 meeting. Bring up the minutes. Okay, so we have the SED. Last time we did nothing but a status report, right?
Yes.
So this is the BBS verbatim, BBS report. And then AI came back and shared with us what we talked about. And I tried to take out any duplication of effort. And okay. Yeah, good. Scroll down past this part, yeah. And you can't see all the text. You see you've got that tab open to the right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a spelling.
There we go, okay. Fire hydrant, parking lot, streetlight issues. Vegetation growth near the pond despite hydro seeding. Growth issues, the problem wasn't growing, okay. Running track project. And. Energy performance contract progressing, yeah, we always think it's about to be done. And science lab renovations, which we're further along on, and there comes the rooftop solar, which was on the horizon and now is out there. And we pictures of facilities and updates. And that is pretty much it. Does anybody see anything that needs to be modified?
No.
Okay,
I move that we approve the minutes as submitted.
do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? We have minutes as presented. Okay. Does anyone have an issue that they wish to bring up tonight of a facility's nature?
Yes, you mentioned the water filters have been changed at Jackson. Highview in this building, have been changed?
Yes, they're constantly being changed, even in this building here. But the newer filters, for one reason or another, they're supposed to last 3 months, 6 months, depending on the size, and we're not getting them that type of length of time out of what they're saying. So we've had some consultations with the manufacturers or whoever makes it, and there seems to be a problem. They're not lasting as long as they say they.
Is it because of the water or because of the filter?
I think it's because of the filter myself, because, you know, occasionally if they're flushing the hydrants or something, you would see some groundwater, more sediment, it's gonna, okay, here, it's gonna exponentially
Right.
hurt the filter, but that doesn't appear to be the case. We're taking different filters in different buildings, and they're set for a certain amount of time, say so many gallons, so many months, and we're getting sometimes half the life out of them. They're still showing that it's a productive filter, but it just doesn't have the flow that it's like something implodes in the filter. We don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's something faulty within the filters themselves, but it's not just one building.
And then here, last year, there was a complaint from students about the water pressure out here at the filters at the Commons. And I haven't observed this myself, but I've heard complaints again recently about it just being down to a trickle. I don't know if that was just before you changed the filters, or if there's still a water pressure.
Sometimes we change the filters like, every 2 or 3 weeks, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we get a filter to last you the 3 months that it's supposed to, and sometimes we'll change one in a week and a half later. It's like, I just changed, so we ended up doing it again.
Can you tell can you look at the filter and see?
Yeah, they have,
not
the guys put a date on it or whatever, it's telling you it's green, but you're gonna be dying to thirst before you fill up.
They're the only vendor for that particular.
There's different vendors, but there's only so many that make the compatible filters for the machines.
Jessica.
I hate to do this so late at night. Mr. Pugliese, in terms of like your small building projects, is there any way the nurse's office at Bailey could be repainted? I feel like I'm going back to the 1950s when I go in there, and it's kind of sad.
We can go on our projects, absolutely.
Okay. And yeah, I think it would just help to brighten up the space a little bit.
Maybe we have to. When the building's used, that's maybe when my workers could come in on a weekend. I do have workers to schedule maintenance mechanics on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought that up, because we were talking about this being the innovator lab. Looking down there, and all I see is 1970s hospital retro. So I think that mint green would be nice if it was more innovative.
Yes, it would. And we've got mock-ups, the presentation the technology gave of, what this room could look like.
Let's remember what Mr. Pugliese just said. Painting is easy.
No, it's not a capital project. It's
that's all true.
We could do over the summer or on a weekend, depending.
All right. Anything? All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed?
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Are you? Oh, you said bye.
Bye. And bye. She said aye. I said bye.
Good night.